Pokémon Blazing Emerald is, as far as I know, one of the first ROM hacks to add its own unique regional forms, the Hoennian Forms. Let's get a quick glance over each evolution line, so you can build your team around your favorite ones. The first Hoennian form you will encounter on your journey is the Venonat line. Venonat starts out as a bug dark type and it is found in Pelleberg Woods. It evolves into either Murmot as a male or Lucemot as a female at level 31. Both of them learn a new move called Hive Mind, which is a bug type side shock at level 36. Murmot is the bulkier evolution of the two that learns a lot of support moves like Cosmic Power, Calm Mind, Confuse Ray, Hypnosis and Taunt. But he also is able to learn a wider range of special attacks like Hive Mind, Dark Pulse, Thunderbolt, Psychic, Shadow Ball and Giga Drain. He's decent versus other support Pokemon because of his ability Elusive, which gives him a 50% evasion boost against other support moves. Lucemot trades the Dark type for the Fairy type and focuses more on power and speed. Her ability Tactician negates not very effective moves, so he will at least always hit for neutral damage. She learns Hypnosis, both screen moves and Calm Mind to help setup. And Moonrazer, Hive Mind, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Shadow Ball and Psychic for coverage. Because of her ability, it's always better to use Moonrazer or Hive Mind when it's not very effective because you get the stab bonus for those attacks. This means using a coverage move that hits for neutral damage will always deal less damage in these situations. Do you remember those annoying Tentacool that you constantly encounter while surfing? Well, the Hoennian Tentacool will probably change your mind about them. It is now a water-electric type that can be found at its earliest in the route above Dewford Town, where you can fish one up with the old rod. The fishing rod is available from the fisherman next to the gym. Tentacool evolves at level 30 into Tentacruel, which is less tanky compared to its normal form and more physically oriented. Its ability Levin Skin raises the attack stat by 2 stages when it gets hit by an electric type attack. Tentacruel gets 2 amazing stab moves in Liquidation and Thunderclap, which is a 80 BP priority move. It gets Poison Jab as coverage and Aqua Jet as additional stab priority. Probably the most popular Hoennian form now, Dunsparce. It gains the electric type in Hoenn, making it a normal electric type. It can be found on the 2nd floor of Granite Cave as a rare encounter. It evolves into Dressparrot at level 40 and changes the normal type to a dragon type. This Pokemon is one of the fastest special attack sweepers with a versatile move pool. Some notable moves are Ancient Power, Cloud Burst, U-Turn, Yawn, Thunderbolt, Roost, Dragon Pulse and Tri-Attack. Its ability Air Control transforms all normal type moves like Tri-Attack into flying type moves and gives them a boost of 20%. Our favorite spaghetti monster Tangela transforms into a fighting type in Hoenn. It can be found in Route 110 and evolves into Tangrowth by learning the exclusive move Bramble Bash at level 34. Upon evolution, it gains the Dark typing. Tangrowth is a very powerful bulky physical attacker. It has an ability called Barbed Nest that is a combination of fluffy and rough skin. This means that it halves physical damage, harms anything that uses a contact move, and gains a fire type weakness. Its unique move, Bramble Bash, is a stronger fighting type clone of the move Rage. Some notable moves that Tangrowth learns are Bulk Up, Knock Off, Revenge, Poison Jab, Needle Arm, Fake Out and U-Turn. Decent utility wise, but not so much for coverage. Its bulkiness is already scary enough to face as a physical attacker though. The next one is one of the newer Pokemon released, Dreepy. It is a fire dragon type in the Hoenn region. Dreepy can either be obtained in the Burning Grotto as a wild encounter or in an egg from Drake during a trip on the ship from Miliko City to Slateport City or vice versa. The second method can only be done after beating the champion. It evolves into Dragloak at level 35 and again at level 50 into Dragapult. Hoennian Dragapult can be used as either a physical, special or mixed attacker. It has 2 good abilities to work with. Everyone knows what Levitate does, so let's see how it benefits from Technician. All moves with 60 or less BP that it learns are Dragon Breath with a chance to paralyze, Bite, with a chance to flinch, shockwave for coverage, and a 2-hit move called Devil Darts that has 45 BP, which powers up to a 135 BP move. It also learns Dragon Dance, so it definitely leans more to the physical side with those last two moves. Teddiursa gains the Fire type in Hoenn, making it a normal Fire type. It is found in Route 112 right before the Fury Path and evolves at level 30 into Ursaring. Ursaring turns into a slightly faster physical attacker compared to its normal counterpart. The two abilities it learns help to further boost its damage output. Guts can only be reliably used if it's poisoned because Fire types cannot get burned. Adaptability is a more popular ability for Ursaring. It gets a 50% damage boost on top of its stab moves, meaning that normal and fire type moves deal double damage. That is pretty scary to hear if you know that it learns Flare Blitz and Return. Skarmory gains the Fire type in Hoenn, making it a Steel Fire type. It can be found in Route 113 where the volcanic ash falls. Skarmory still plays a similar role to its normal counterpart, but trades some of its physical defense to increase its other stats. It has more offensive presence with the higher attack and speed, but its utility is still nothing to scoff at. Sizzlebeak is a move exclusive to Hoennian Skarmory, which has a 100% chance to burn the opponent. It also still has access to Roast, Whirlwind and Spikes just to annoy the opponent even further. The new ability Resolute acts like the modern Sturdy, so it can actually survive an earthquake if you decide to let it stay in. Flashfire is there if you want an extra immunity. Pinsir gains the ground type in Hoenn, making it a bug ground type. It can be found in the desert. Hoennian Pinsir is based off of its beta design that has leaked a while ago. It is a lot slower and frailer than its normal form, but if it gets an attack in, then you can kiss your Pokémon on the field goodbye because it is not surviving a stab earthquake from a 620 plus attack stat. How does it get so much attack, you ask? Because of pure power. Dodrio keeps its regular form, but the Dodrio gets a whole new look in the Hoenn region, making it a flying ground type. It is obtainable by leveling up a Dodrio while having a Marowak in your party. A Dodrio can be found in Route 112, and Cubone is found in the desert next to Dodrio's route. Dodrio is one of the quickest physical attackers in the game. It gets Intimidate as an ability, which makes it kind of similar to Landorus. Intimidate helps Dodrio survive a physical attack if it doesn't kill your Pokémon after its first attack. It also gets decent coverage with Brave Bird, Earthquake, High Jump Kick and Rock Tomb. Solosis gains the Grass type alongside its Psychic type in Hoenn, making it a Psychic Grass type. Solosis specifically is only obtainable by trading a Kecleon to this guy in Pacific Lock Town. You cannot breed this evolution line, so trading is the only way to get Solosis. Duosion can be found in the wild in Route 119 and 120. Solosis evolves into Duosion at level 35 and again into Reuniclus if it has a high level of friendship during the day. Hoennian Reuniclus plays very similarly to its normal counterpart. The big difference is that it can set up with Ripen, which increases the defense by 1 stage and special attack by 2 stages. Along with that, it has a reliable way to recover its HP with Giga Drain and Synthesis, which recover even more HP with the ability Fruition. Next up is the mascot of the game, it's Goomy, who changes into a fairy type. It can be found in Route 119 and evolves into a new Pokémon called Golossal by having a high friendship level. Golossal is one big chunky ball of fanciness and is famous for its devastating Mire Surge with Regalia combo. Mire Surge is a normal type move with 100 BP and has a chance to lower the foe's speed. Regalia is just a different named Pixelate. For coverage moves, it gets Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Aura Sphere, Psychic, Shadow Ball and Dragon Pulse, so it can fill in some missing types in your team. It's bulky but slow, so you will most likely always have to take a hit before you can fire off your dangerous attacks. Shuckle in Hoenn trades its bug typing for a grass typing, making it a rock grass type. It can be found in Route 120. Hoennian Shuckle gains a few handy tools to make it even more tanky. Solid Rock weakens super effective moves and it learns Leech Seed and Ingrain to get some recovery while stalling with Protect, Toxic, Yawn, Wrap or Dig. Seel trades the Ice typing for a Dark typing, making it a Water Dark type in Hoenn. It evolves into Dewgong at level 34 and it can be found as a Surf encounter on Route 124 and Route 125. Hoennian Dewgong is more of a physically offensive Pokémon with the ability Stick Fat to increase its resistance to Ice and Fire attacks even further, and Swift Swim if you want to go all out on offenses. It learns an interesting move called Knuckle Fins, which is a physical water type move that inflicts Torment on the opponent. Torment is a move that doesn't get a lot of use, but it forces your opponent to use a different move each turn, because it cannot use the same move twice in a row. The other moves it learns are also pretty good. It learns Swindle, Knock Off and Fake Out for utility, Aqua Jet and Ice Shard for priority, Ice Punch and Mega Horn for coverage, and Bulk Up with Slack Off help it set up. This Onix is inspired by its appearance in the Orange Island season of the anime. It is Rock Ice type and can be evolved into Chrysalix at level 48. It can be found in the first section of Shoal Cave during high tide as an overworld encounter. Another way to get more encounters is to run around in the frozen part during low tide. These Hoennian forms completely shifted playstyle from the normal Onix and Steelix. They are now more specialized in the special stats instead of the physical stats. Chrysalix gets a unique ability called Crystal Case that makes it immune to water type attacks but weak to fire type attacks. On top of that, if it gets hit by a fire type move, Chrysalix's special attack raises 2 stages. It also gets a signature move called Crystallize, which is a rock type move that has a chance to freeze. The other moves it also learns are pretty decent. It gets Accelerock for priority, Earth Power, Hydro Pump and Scald for coverage, and Ice Beam or Blizzard for its other stab move. Deep under the sea, Hoennian Chinchou can be found in the underwater grass patches. It is now a Water Ghost type, removing its usual electric typing. It evolves into Lantern by using a Dusk Stone, which you will most likely have by the point you find this Pokémon. You can find 2 Dusk Stones in total, one in Mount Pyre and the other one on the abandoned ship after getting dive. Hoennian Lantern has an immense special attack stat that complements its very fun moveset. I will explain 3 different moves that make it so good. The first one is Dark Bargain, which is a buffing move that raises the special attack, speed and accuracy by 2 stages, but it also inflicts the curse status on the user, a risky setup move, right? Well, the second move, Siphon, is a 100 BP, 75 accuracy ghost type move that heals the user for 50% of the damage dealt. The synergy between these 2 moves is insane, because the increase in accuracy makes it so that Siphon never misses, and the curse status that removes your health each turn now gets neutralized because you're healing yourself every time you use Siphon. But I'm not done yet. Lantern also learns a physical ghost type move called Abyssal Lore that raises the special attack by 2 stages if it manages to KO the opponent with it, so it can increase its special attack even further if it doesn't quite finish off the opponent with the previous attack. Besides those 3 moves, it has a good move pool that includes Hypnosis, Confuse Ray, Water Spout, Thunderbolt, Scald, Will-O-Wisp and Ice Beam. Qwilfish in Hoenn gains the Steel typing over its Water typing, making it a Poison Steel type. You can use a Super Rod in Route 134 to fish it up. Hoennian Qwilfish has Levitate as an ability that completely removes the Quad Ground weakness, which means that it's only weak to fire attacks. It has a decent special attack stat and great defenses to work with. Along with that, it learns 2 stab moves that make Qwilfish a dangerous Pokémon. I present to you Carbonize and Toxifume. Carbonize is a special steel type move that has a 10% chance to burn and a high chance to crit. Toxifume is a 2-turn move, similar to Skull Bash, that increases the special attack by 1 stage and deals damage the next turn with a guaranteed poison effect if you haven't already KO'd your opponent by that point. Besides those 2 moves, it doesn't really get anything noticeable besides Minimize, Spikes and Scald. There are more Hoennian Forms coming in the next patch for Blazing Emerald, but we have no idea when that will release. However, when it releases I will make an update to this video. Stay tuned for the next patch and the upcoming guide. Until the next video.